Really important, though, that we're being safe, not click happy, and do be aware that the bad guys know that this is all happening, and they're in business as well, and they're trying to make money, so they're adapting the different ways that they're trying to get money out of us or wreak havoc on us. So, you see on the news, there's different things that are coming out all the time of different warnings and threats that are going on, but it's the same stuff that we preach all the time. When you do, well, A, if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. B, if you're not expecting an email from somebody or, then be very cautious about it. Make sure that you are hovering your mouse over the links in emails to make sure where they're going before you click on them. Be very extremely careful with attachments. That's where a lot of this stuff comes in. But what we see even in a non-pandemic type event where clients and computers get hacked or have ransomware, viruses, or malware, it 95% of the time happens because somebody clicked on something they shouldn't have. And being at home, you may feel a little bit safer because you're in your home, comfortable environment, but you still have to be vigilant. No, that's probably not the word. Vigilant. Is that the word, Chad? Vigilant?
Yes, vigilant. Yeah.
You still have to be vigilant and make sure that you're being careful about what you're clicking on there. The big one that was in the news that made the rounds was the Zoom bombing. And I know Zoom has gone out of their way over the last couple of weeks to try to catch up and secure their platform. One thing that we do here is we have daily check-ins. And it's important when you are working remotely from a management point of view, for instance, from Chad and I's point of view, to make sure that all our employees are accountable, is to see their lovely faces. So we check in every morning, and with that, we want to see video as well. So using web conferencing software is extremely powerful for that, whether it's Zoom, Google, whatever Google's thing is. We use Microsoft Teams. So anyway, Zoom is a big one, and they had a lot of issues here over the last couple of weeks. We came up with some best practices of what you should be doing to secure your Zoom meetings if you are hosting them. And we have a post on our website. Please check out our website for that and other things that we're discussing today. Then also sign up for our newsletter if you're not already signed up for that. We send out monthly posts as well. But here's some different steps that you can take to make sure that your Zoom meeting isn't being hijacked. What people were doing were, if they can just randomly choose a meeting ID, they connect up to a Zoom meeting, and then they have something inappropriate on their screen that shows up then on everybody's in the meeting. They were calling this Zoom bombing. There's some simple steps that you can take to make sure that your Zoom meetings aren't being hijacked. Those are listed there. Chad, I'm not doing a good job of letting you talk here. I'm sorry. Go.
No, you're fine. Lance has a question for you, Joe. Do you recommend VPN for home?
We will be getting to that a little bit later, yes. But
okay.
yes, we do, and we'll discuss that in a little bit more further detail a little bit further. I like that though. We got any other questions there before I move on?
No, that's all at the moment.
Okay. So, other things to think about when you're working at home trying to be secure. If you can, and I do realize that some homes have one machine, a laptop or a computer that the whole family uses. I get that. But if and when you can, please make sure that you're dedicating the machine that you're using for work just for work. If you are sending sensitive data back and forth to your clients or your customers, make sure you're encrypting any sensitive data. And there's a whole bunch of different tools out there to do that. You have to check with your IT department to see what they suggest with that. If you're just a straight old home user that's wanting to do that, again, you can go out there and Google some encryption tools for email. Do password protect your user account. This is something that we see quite often is when you walk up to your computer and turn it on, if it just boots right into the, to the start screen where you got your desktop there and you didn't have to enter a password, when your computer's not password protected. And odds are that your computer is logged in with an administrator account, the user that you're using. So if anything does happen to get in as far as a virus or malware, or the bad guy's able to remote control your computer, they have admin rights basically to your computer and they can do whatever they want. So do make sure that you're putting a password on your user account, and it's really quick and easy to do that. If you don't have one, you can just hit Control-Alt-Delete if you're in Windows, and there's a change password option there, which you can go ahead and put a password in there. On the Macs, don't ask me how, we can get you information if you need that. Never use a random thumb drive. This is just best practices, period. When you plug in a USB device, a thumb drive, a jump drive, whatever your terminology for that is, by default, Windows will automatically run whatever's in there if it's set, and if the device has something in there set to do an auto run. You plug it in and it could just start up and run a virus or run something bad. So always be careful about thumb drives that you're not aware of. Don't just be plugging them in. There's not too much public Wi-Fi stuff going on now, but I'm sure there's still cases where people are using it, and this is just good tips for in general. Avoid public Wi-Fi when you can. There are numerous stories of how people went out there and set up their own Wi-Fi that kind of matches the one of where somebody's at, and they're able to get users to go ahead and connect up to it, and then they run little tools on their computer that will capture all the data that's going back and forth over that Wi-Fi. So whenever possible, use your phone as a hotspot and connect to it. If you are out and about, make sure you're kind of protecting what's up and on your screen. Same thing, think of it when you're at the gas pump and you're typing in your PIN number for your credit card or your ATM card into the gas pump. They got that little sticker there that says you're supposed to be kind of putting your hands over it so no one can see what's going on there. Same thing there. There's people that go out in public spaces that are looking to grab or monitor what keystrokes you're using or where you're at and see if you're a target worth getting. Never, of course, leave your laptop unattended. And then a really good one here is a USB data blocker, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit. In public places, they have a lot of these charging stations where you just go and plug your phone in to a USB plug, like a hub, where they have a bunch of people standing around. Those can be hijacked and manipulated, where they can go ahead and kind of steal your data that's going into that as you're charging. So what a USB data blocker does, they actually call them USB condoms. But basically what it is, it's a little adapter that you plug into the end of your charging cable, and it disables the data ports, but leaves the charging ports enabled. So when you plug in, you're still getting the juice and you're able to charge, but there's no data going back and forth to the device on the other end. So those things are like $10. Great idea to get one of those.